get the internet to come back online. There we go. We're back online. Beautiful. So yeah, just another week getting DDoS. I don't know why people spend so much money trying to stop me, because the only way you're gonna stop me is if you murder me. I am very stubborn. I'm gonna do things I'm passionate about. You're not gonna stop me just because you think you can DDoS me. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. We're getting DDoS'd again, as usual, every goddamn week. Like, take my word on it. My internet does not go down, ever, unless I stream. It never goes down unless I stream. It's hilarious, okay? Someday I'll have the resources to hold people like that accountable, but, you know, I wouldn't say if I did right now, and though didn't. Alright, let's go back to what's going down, okay? So what we got here, okay? What we got going on is this, okay? This, my friends, is I'm just trying to appeal a ticket. That's it. That's all I'm doing, okay? I'm just trying to appeal a ticket. And what's interesting in that county roleplay is I was communicating with somebody. I don't know, like I don't know if I should say who it was, but somebody from the judicial system in the county roleplay, and they told me, at least they told Michelle in character-wise, that cases get dismissed on the basis of lack of evidence all the time. So typically, it's the cops' work to prove guilt of the the suspect. They need to prove that the suspect did something, and that makes sense. Otherwise, they would just be able to take anybody off the street that they don't like personally, not because they broke any law, because they don't like them personally, and get rid of that. And if you want to live in that kind of society, I mean, there was one. It was called Nazi Germany. If you want to live in a society like that, sure. But no, I want to live in a society where people actually are judged by the choices they make. That's the society I want to live in, not by anything else. But anyway, let's go back to the case at hand. Okay? So what we got here? Alright, so I filled this out. And it took me like a minute to fill this out. It was really not complicated. The most important thing was, getting the name and the badge number, which apparently they don't have to provide anymore. Yeah, as you can see, this was filed on the same day as the the ticket happened. Keep in mind, all of this is just appeal a ticket, okay? I'm just trying to appeal, like hold on. My character is just trying to appeal a ticket. Boromir says, "Citizen of Red County Roleplay incoming." I have a video more detailing how interesting this whole situation is. But yeah, the question I have posed for you is: does it make sense to request physical evidence in a roleplay server, like in character-wise? Let's talk about in character-wise for now. Let's talk about in character-wise. To prove that a character has committed a crime, should you actually require physical evidence, or can you just say that you have physical evidence? So that's what I want to cover today. Alright, let's have a look, okay? So, here we go. Plaintiff, state of San Andreas, defendant Michelle Jefferson, trial court, criminal case, blah blah blah. Okay, awesome. In the matter of state court hereby requests both parties introduce all evidence into discovery. Now, what is discovery? And this is a thing in, I'm not a lawyer. I just want to say this right now. But I read about discovery. And discovery is a process in which multiple people, basically both parties, submit all the evidence they have, okay? To show that, they did something. Now the thing is, again, the cop needs to prove that I did something. So I need to see what proof he has against me first to even be able to appeal. For Michelle to be able to do it. Now, in real life, you would go to court, okay? To be charged, you always go to court before you get charged with something. You don't just go to jail or to prison. You have to go through court first. At least in the United States, and we are all playing in the United States. So, if a cop takes you to court, they need to show the evidence, okay? So that's why I said defense is unable to provide any evidence to discover until plaintiff provides evidence of guilt. Hello there, Cristiano speaking. Okay, here we go. So this is in character-wise. Alright, so while patrolling around Parliament Creek, I've seen Miss Jefferson here driving and passing two signs. Okay, so okay, hold on. First of all, you know what? Let's do something real quick. Okay, I just wanna do something real quick. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna do a little 2x2. Here we go, 2x2. Okay, and okay, we're gonna have two lists of things. So first of all, we're gonna have a list. First of all, I'm gonna say in character. So both of these are in character. This is I'm gonna be examining the kinds of evidence and the validity of them. Okay, okay, the validity of the evidence at hand. Okay, and out of character. But I'm gonna show you why this matters later on. This is actually very important if you actually care about roleplay servers. If you actually care about legal characters and illegal characters. Illegal roleplay would be so much more fulfilling if they actually had a legitimate system. But anyway. Testimony. So this is testimony, or what someone says. Okay? This is a testimony of what someone says. Yeah, I guess I'll make it a little smaller. Okay? And this is physical evidence. Okay? Photos, footage, etc. Okay? There we go. So we got in character evidence, physical evidence, testimonies, footage. We got testimony of what somebody says. And what I want to do is I want to keep track, okay, throughout this court case. I want to keep track of what specifically he chooses to do, okay? And I think that this is very important because this is gonna be just... this is very exciting for me. But I struggle to make it exciting for other people, and I get that. But I think this will lead into something interesting. So first of all, alright, so while patrolling Palomino Creek, I've seen Miss Jefferson. So first of all, what kind of evidence is this? This is an in-character testimony. Basically, his character came into court and started testifying on his charge, the charge that he is making against my character. Keep that in mind. Like, out of character-wise, I'm the one that has to make an appeal out of character-wise. But in character-wise, it would be the cop that would be presenting the evidence in the first place. So this is his testimony. So, first of all, this is the evidence that he, I'll just say cop, okay? So this is in character cop says what happened. Here we go. This is the first kind of evidence that we have, okay? Cop says what happened. And you know what? I'm actually gonna mark everything a cop does in blue and everything I do in orange, okay? Cop says what happened, okay? Because red unfortunately has bad connotations, so I'm just gonna use orange. And orange is technically the opposite color of blue, as you can see here. Blue, orange. It's not red. Red is slightly to the right here. So it's opposite colors, so I think it's fine. Okay, cop says what happened, okay? I haven't provided any evidence so far. I just posted this to be able to appeal, okay? So the only thing, okay, defendant argues that they do not recall failing to stop at a stop sign and wish to contest the ticket. I guess you could say that that's also, suspect says their side. Okay, I guess I should clarify. Suspect, okay, I should clarify, yeah, because we don't know what's truth or not. Okay, that's the important fact. Okay, hold on. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay, so we don't know what truth or not. So instead of saying cop says what happened and suspect says what happened, we're just gonna say cop says his side, suspect says his side, suspect says their side. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is so far all the evidence we've had, okay? This is so far all the evidence we've had. And the reason I want to track the evidence is you'll see a pattern here. You'll see a pattern. And you'll see my point in a minute, okay? Play Red County Roleplay. I mean, this is kind of part of playing Red County Roleplay. We are on Red County Roleplay forums. We're appealing an in-character-wise Red County Roleplay traffic ticket, okay? I know this is a lot, especially for a traffic ticket, but I think, you know, some justice needs to be dished out. Oh my god. Now, the thing is, it's true, in my opinion, that if there's like no accountability at all, if the because this flows into out of character wise, and you'll see it, okay? If in the ideal world, okay, this red line, okay, between in character and out of character would be an impassable barrier, and there would be no trouble. I have no trouble keeping everything in character, even if it doesn't make any, well, yeah, okay. I have trouble keeping it in character if it doesn't make any sense within the in-character story, and you'll see what I mean later on. But yeah, it all spilled out of character, and it went kind of crazy, and you'll see what I mean. So basically, right, he makes his testimony. Miss Jefferson driving and passing 2 stop signs. I couldn't ignore it. She broke the law, so I had to pull her over and see what's going on. I mean, that's not really the vibe that was given off at the stop, but okay. According to the penal code, $500 for 1 traffic stop. That's so weird. According to the penal code, later on you'll find out he was actually looking at the wrong penal code. $500 for 1 traffic stop. That's not a thing. There's not like a single unanimous $500 for 1 traffic stop. That might be like a value that is accurate to most traffic stops. Is that what it is? Is it just like a value that is within the range of most traffic stops, so they just remember that one number to issue for every traffic stop? That could very well be the thing. Oh my god. Is that actually the case? Let me just check. State laws. So, right now, by the way, notice, okay? I just want you to notice this. So this is an Red County Roleplay State Penal Code. There's 2020, okay? But it's active only in February, and it's not February yet. And it wasn't February on 3rd January either. So, the active one is 2019, okay? That's also important, okay? So, traffic violations, let's see. So, okay, my theory is that, basically, when cops want to learn, okay, what kind of traffic they want to do, okay, what kind of fine they want to issue, they basically picked 500 because you can basically issue $500 for any citation regardless of what you did, because it's easier to remember it. Okay, that's my theory. So let's check it out. Carries a minimum. Okay, well, reckless driving is an exception clearly. Driving without license. 400, no less than 400, so this qualifies. Okay, driving without headlights. Who stops people for driving without headlights? That's not a... No. Driving without a helmet. That also doesn't qualify. Okay, no, mind. I was wrong. But let's keep this page open because this is also important. You know what? Let me stop making theories. Let me just tell you what happened. Okay, I'm sorry I'm wasting your time with all these theories. I just want to tell you what actually happened, okay? So, Jefferson passed 2 and still got 500. Okay, so you're saying Jefferson passed 2 stop signs at this point, okay? And I don't really know what's going on regarding her statement. Okay, so I assume he means the statement, the defendant argues they did not recall failing to stop the stop sign. Okay, cool. At this point, he hasn't submitted any evidence. So what do, okay? Your Honor, again, this is not me, this is my character, okay, technically, okay? Your Honor, after acknowledging plainly of statement, the defense would like to make a request to submit the case on the basis of lack of evidence, because you can't prove that you're on a stop sign, okay? So that's where we were at this point. So, anyway, here, this is the judge, the case, also this is like the big judge. He's not like in character-wise involved in the case, but out of character is involved. He's involved out of character-wise, and it's very blatant that nobody ever tried to appeal anything or use this court system like very... It's very clear that it very rarely gets used because cops don't actually do anything, don't do much in these court systems. Alright, I wonder if there's a Red to Dead to roleplay service. Says, is he very... I have probably... I think Red Dead Redemption 2 in itself a roleplay game, because I mean it's very like... I think it's... Roleplay... One thing I like about roleplay is it's immersive. Okay. Okay, I see that there's one guy waiting to be talked to. Okay, and I will talk to you in a minute, but I just wanna show just real quick. I'm gonna make a more detailed video about this later. Okay, let's finally get to the gist of it. Okay, okay. So here's my dash cam. Okay, a dash cam would be playing underneath. You'd see Michelle Jackson, her a perennial. I'm gonna assume he meant perennial. Pinkish one. Okay. Very pinkish. Now I guess if you look from behind at the sirens, you can see that it kind of looks pinkish because of the sirens. Okay, but only some of the times it flashes pinkish and bluish. Okay, but in reality it's just gray. It's just gray. In fact, I'm actually surprised that a 2004 game has a lighting system that's complicated. I don't have any like lighting mods or anything like that. So at this point it looks pinkish, but you can see it's flashing blue and pink. So, you know, this testimony is already a little inaccurate. And again, the thing I'm trying to prove is not that they are maliciously doing it every time. It's that they can make mistakes. They are human who are capable of making mistakes. That's my point. And that's why I think they should require physical evidence for their own good. Okay? Because I could have at this point claimed, in character-wise, this is clearly fabricated footage because my perennial is not pink. Anyway, passing on to Palomino's Way's Main Street, there's all kinds of inconsistencies with this. And let me just go through my response, okay? I went over all of the inconsistencies, okay? So, I guess the color of the vehicle wrong. There's no Palomino Way's Main Street. There's two separate streets called Palomino Way and Main Street. We assume that he was referring to Palomino Way. He then says takes left towards PC Gas in front of the studios, which clarifies, I guess, that it's this one. But again, according to this testimony, as you can see, I could have only passed through one stop sign. Here we go. I even made a little illustration how the trajectory would be going from Palomino Way through the stop sign. So the testimony doesn't make sense that you didn't stop at least one of the one stop sign. It's a little weirdly phrased and it's just weird. And then he claims it was two, and there's all kinds of other inconsistencies. The point I'm trying to make is in-character testimonies about what in-character evidence is. It's weird because, again, okay, let's look at the evidence that he provided. I just want to go quickly through the evidence, and this won't take more than like 5 minutes, okay? So, all I want to do is I want to fill out this bit. I want to fill out the evidence that we show, okay? So, he roleplayed, okay? He roleplayed, showing that the dashcam footage would show all of this, okay? So, this is in-character physical evidence, okay? In-character physical evidence, but out-of-character testimony, okay? And that's what I wanna make clear. Cops dashcam footage, okay? Cops dashcam footage, role played, without actual footage. Okay? This is both in character wise, physical evidence, and out of character wise, testimony. Okay? That's my point. Okay? So we're treating a testimony as if it's physical evidence. And there's a big issue that I have with that. There's a huge issue I have with this problem. Okay? So let's go over the things that I submitted, because I had to actually submit evidence. I have to submit physical evidence as the suspect, as the person that is being accused of a crime. Or my character being accused of a crime. I have to submit physical evidence when my character gets accused of a crime to be able to appeal it in character-wise. And who records all the time? Even I don't record all the time. That's what's expected of me. I was not recording seconds prior. You might think I might record all the time, but no, my memory is full. I can't always record. And my shadowplay does not always work as well. Okay? There's technical issues. You can't always record. That's true. But you know what it's very problematic to do this. It's very problematic to just take everything a cop says for what. Because look at what I have to post. I have to post actual physical evidence. I have to post actual physical evidence, okay? Suspects proves innocence, or disproves cop's testimony with evidence, with footage. That's he did post the only thing he posted, okay? And I want to be clear on this, okay? The only thing he posted was some screenshots of the actual, like, stop itself. Let me see if I can find it. By the way, if you do go to the set, make sure you don't like comment anything, because the only person expected to comment at this point is the judge. So he made numerous mistakes in his testimony because, like, he couldn't get the color of the car right. He couldn't specify which stop sign it was. It was very confusing, and you can go look at it, and I'll make a video about this. And I'm not throwing shade at you, okay? I'm not trying. Also, don't go PM him or anything like that. No witch hunting, nothing like that, okay? I'll make a video about this later on, and I don't have any hate towards the people out of character-wise. Nothing at all. This is I'm just trying to highlight the issue, the systematic problem that we have, because we have the system where we treat cops out of character testimony as in character physical evidence, and I have to prove innocence with an out of character physical evidence. I can make a testimony, but nobody's gonna believe my testimony, okay? When we have a word against word situation, because I said out of character wise that I don't believe I did that. The courts, you know what the courts told me? The courts told me, go to Rule 7 and report the cop for lying. Okay? And provide physical evidence that the cop is lying. So I need physical evidence to provide to the cop that he was lying. He does not need to prove that my character was guilty of anything. That's what I'm trying to show. So should you require physical evidence in a hardcore roleplay server? Okay? Should you require physical evidence? That's the topic of the discussion. So, again, I'll go over the just to be clear, the final thing I just wanted to share this. The defense that I went with, was the fact that the cop didn't even know the actual. He made the mistake. I'll try to be more polite. He made the mistake, and I should be more polite. I apologize. He made the mistake of. He made the mistake of basically believing that the penal code of 2020 is the one that's in place right now. It's the one that's being enforced, and that's not the case, okay? If you actually look at the title of them, it says the penal code of 2019 is now active, and the 2020 comes in force on 1st February. And that seems kind of silly to me, that's the case, but maybe that's the way government operates in real life. Maybe there's like some sort of a date encryption, some good reason why that is. There has to be. I mean, there has to be. I'm sure they're not just doing this just to piss people off and make it confusing for everybody. but it's kind of funny, and I don't blame the cop too much for making mistakes like this. But that's the point. They make mistakes. That's why we should require, in my opinion, physical evidence. Because in these testimonies, there's so much physical evidence. Here it is. Ticket says that there's failure to yield. So my defense. The defense is ready with a count statement. As you can see, the ticket was written for failure to yield, not running a stop sign. And I haven't even read the 2020 code, but it doesn't matter because it's not active. The one that's active says this about failure to yield. And I know it says stop sign in the name, but it says failure to yield and in parentheses stop sign. It doesn't say running a stop sign, okay? It says failure to yield. So that's my legal defense, or Michelle's legal defense, okay? Okay, and the problem is that you might say, oh, this is a technicality that you're getting out on, or Michelle is getting out on. But, while yes, we have to remember that I have to prove my innocence somehow, and I wasn't recording like 100% of the time. I have to somehow prove my innocence or my character's innocence. And while we're talking about traffic tickets, it's not a big deal. But what are we talking about? Murder. Okay, murder. When your character gets accused of murder, when your character gets accused of inciting a violence, when your character gets accused of mutual combat or something like that, all of that adds up. And with Michelle Jefferson, my character Michelle Jefferson, I've been going through and I've been appealing all those charges because it's interesting to me. And I'm thinking, this is the world that we live in. Because in real life, very similar stuff happens. Cops' testimony sometimes gets treated as physical evidence. And this is very relevant to real life as well. So, I feel like if I can't tackle this, if I can't tackle just a roleplay server, if I can't even appeal a goddamn ticket, then how am I supposed to step up of myself when an actual cop tries to, uphold a law that doesn't exist, okay? Or a person of authority tries to uphold a rule that doesn't exist. How can I hold them accountable? Because it's me who's supposed to hold them accountable. Anyway, I believe there was a person waiting. They're still waiting. So let's have them on. Let's give them a chance to talk about this. Now, as you know, these are people that they have gone through verification. They have gone through verification, but at the same time, they sometimes don't have the best of intentions. So keep in mind. All right, let's get this going on. Pretty sure that it's the same name that I've banned before, but again, the point is to not assume anything until we have physical evidence. Okay, that's how I've been running Roleplay Union. Okay, in Roleplay Union, we only punish people if we have physical evidence that they've done something, and that's the premise of the whole Roleplay Union. And we've been running it since September, and I think I'm figuring out how to do it more effectively. All right, let's get this person in. Let me just double check something. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. That is not it. Hold on 1 second. I just need to make sure. Oh yeah. There we go. Okay, I figured it out. Okay. Alright, let's, so basically, I give them interview access. That way, it goes into audit log that I gave them a role interview access that only lets them join the interview. And if they do anything, it will be very easy to prove that they joined the interview. So, okay, here we go. Alright, welcome. Welcome, Doc Visit. How are you doing? Hello? Are you doing okay?
What up?
Hi, how are you doing? How long have you been a part of Roleplay Union?
Wait, what?
How long have you been a part of Roleplay Union?
The beginning.
Since the beginning? Oh, that's pretty cool. So what made you join Roleplay Union?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You see somebody make a community, you talk about all that nonsense about, how they believe in all that, I talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense to people from the first glance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, what made you think to join this community?
Shit, bro. Maybe because I want to discuss about some things or whatever. You never know.
I have no idea what the hell you just said right now.
Maybe because I want to discuss.
Okay. Not that loud, okay? There's no need to do that. Alright. So what we're talking about right now is, should cops in a roleplay server post physical evidence against you when they are actually, trying to convict your character of a crime? What do you think? Should they do that?
Take physical evidence of something?
Like actual screenshots. So do you see the stream right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So, actually, yeah, let me just show it on stream. So basically, I made a little graph here showing that there's in-character evidence, evidence that's in character, and out-of-character evidence. So, you understand the difference, right? I assume you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, right now, in pretty much any roleplay server, you don't have to go through court. There's no requirement for you to go through court. The cops just take you directly to jail. They put you in jail, and you need to prove that you're innocent to be able to drop the charge. They don't have to prove anything. And if you go to court, you have to show evidence of your innocence. How does that work?
Well, to be honest, you just can't enter court with nothing and be like, hey, look, I didn't do this. You need to have evidence.
I get that, but for example, imagine you. But how do they charge you with a crime if they don't have evidence that you did it? If they just say you did it, how is that not treating a cop's testimony out of character-wise as in-character physical evidence? I feel like it's a little sketchy there.
Well, that's why they ARP the body cam system thingy where they describe what happened and everything.
Yeah, but again, this is an out-of-character testimony for in-character evidence. Again, let's go to the case at hand that I just brought up. So we have a traffic infraction. Somebody's accusing Michelle ran a stop sign. Okay, I wasn't recording at the time. Okay, how am I supposed to prove my innocence? Does everybody record all the time?
Well, no, that's why the cop probably didn't have a physical evidence as well, because it would be very annoying if everyone just recorded like everything at all the time.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's not possible or feasible to always record everything, and we can agree on that, right? So
that's why I don't blame the cop for not having physical evidence.
Yeah, okay, that's great and all, but how do we prove innocence then? How? Imagine this. Okay, imagine you're a cop, right?
I am a cop actually.
Great.
I'm an SASP.
You're a cop in SASP, great. So imagine you make a mistake. How do I prove that you made a mistake without recording absolutely like 24/7? Because right now, okay, you're trying to say that we're not doing it because it would be annoying to require people to record. But the thing is, you're not. How do I put this? It's not that you don't require the cops to record, it's that you require everybody else to record all the time to prove their innocence. Just in case a cop accuses them of something that they didn't do. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily malicious. If you look at the testimony the cop did, he didn't even know the color of the car. He didn't know the license plate of the car.
I have something to say about this.
And before you continue, I just want to finish my point. The point is that I am expected to record 24/7. And even I, a person who has almost 10,000 subscribers, who has been filming videos for like 5.5 years for YouTube with Roleplay, even I can't guarantee that I can record all the time. How can you expect just everybody except a cop to record footage all the time? That doesn't make sense to me.
That's why they ARP body cam and dash cam. But
that's not. No, you don't get what I'm saying. Everybody believes what a cop says. Another character testimony of a cop, even if it's wrong, even if they say, the color of the car wrong, to prove your innocence. To prove your innocence.
Really blame him for you can't really blame him for forgetting the fucking color or whatever.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. A color of the car is like the first thing a cop.
So you want everyone to exactly remember everything, like
obviously not. Let me finish my point. The point is memory is terrible. We are treating memory of a cop, okay, another character memory, as if it's in character footage. Okay, physical evidence, I think you would agree with me that physical evidence and testimonies hold like a different weight. Okay, testimonies can be extremely inaccurate. But we are treating them as if they're the same. But only for the cops, not for anybody else. Anybody else needs physical evidence to prove their innocence. Anybody else needs to prove that the cop did something wrong. And that's my point. Everybody but the police need physical evidence. The police themselves, they are basically Judge Dredd's. Have you seen Judge Dredd? The movie Judge Dredd? Basically, it's about like this dystopian future where cops become both a police officer and a judge at the same time. They can basically enforce the law on the spot. That's what is happening in roleplay servers. What that means is basically legal roleplay is not being properly enforced because people don't need to care about the laws because they can enforce anything. They can accuse you of anything. The cop in this case didn't even know which penal code was being enforced. He didn't realize that the 2020 penal code was not active until February. And he was going off of that. So I'm just saying people can make mistakes. And if we treat physical evidence as if we treat testimonies as if they're physical evidence, then we're just gonna get this to happen over and over. That's my argument for why we should require cops to provide physical evidence. So what's your argument why we shouldn't? Why shouldn't we provide physical evidence?
Alright, so look, first off, you can't really you can't really like tell every cop to record everything because most people don't even have a gaming PC or anything that could properly record. Like for example, if someone murders someone, right? Like, it's like a split second, and the cop doesn't get it, but he sees the murder physically happen. Yeah.
Yep.
But he doesn't have the time to record it because let's be honest, it's in a split second. It's like in a heat of the moment or something.
Okay.
You can't really say yo record that or whatever because then it could be too late already. Like for things as simple as a traffic stop, you shouldn't expect everyone to record. Because I doubt. Because let's be honest, if look, I'm a cop in SCSP.
Okay,
hold on. Every traffic stop, it would be my hard drive would be already full.
Hold on. Let me just go back to your point. So you're saying if somebody commits a murder and a cop sees them commit a murder, right? But they weren't recording at the time. You're saying that they couldn't prove that they committed the murder?
No, that's just like an
I ask you a yes or no question. Just answer yes or no. If a cop sees somebody murder somebody and they were not recording at the time, do you think that they could not prove that they murdered them?
They could.
Yes or no? Yeah, they could. They could. Like on out of character evidence, even if physical evidence was required, could they prove that they murdered somebody?
Yes.
Exactly. So that kind of undermines your point. You're saying physical evidence is absolutely we cannot require physical evidence of all of the cops because apparently they can't install OBS to record all the time. But I'm saying even some screenshots can work sometimes as physical evidence. You don't necessarily need to record footage. You can sometimes get an out-of-character admission as an evidence. That would develop in so much interesting roleplay. Like, nobody's using interrogation rooms. Nobody cares unless it's a novelty. Unless they're in a special mood to do that. And if you actually require physical evidence or a confession, that would be interesting. That would create so much roleplay, in my opinion. Would it not?
I don't know, to be honest, but but for example, if you want to take a screenshot of a trap of doing failure to yield, for example, that's gonna be hella iffy.
What do you think is failure to yield? By the way, I just want to ask.
Failure to yield, not stopping at a stop sign.
No, that's not true. If you look right now at the active penal code, there's two different charges. That's actually my defense in the case, and it's funny because you just showed on stream that cops don't know the law. Let me just go ahead and show you the state penal code that is actually active right now, okay? So I'll just, you have access to the interview room. I'm going to send you a link in the interview room. Now I'm just going to show it on stream, okay? There you go. In the interview room, there's a link right now, and I'm going to show it on stream as well. So, we are going to just see. Alright, so here we go. Now active, okay? So let's go to the traffic offenses. See, the point that I'm making is people make mistakes, okay? So when cops are expected to provide these precise testimonies when they don't even know which law they're supposed to enforce, it's kind of ridiculous to expect any kind of legal roleplay, and that kind of explains why so much illegal roleplay happens in Red County. People are just upset that they can't even legally defend themselves. So let's look at you said failure to yield. Let's look at failure to yield, okay? Failure to yield. Here we go. Failure to yield. It's 5009, okay? Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says the act of failing to adhere to the right of way while operating a motor vehicle, okay? Do you know what the right of way is?
Go ahead and tell me.
Okay, the right of way is refers to who has priority at the intersection. So two vehicles come to an intersection, okay? One's at the stop sign, the other one is not at the stop sign. The vehicle that does not have a stop sign has priority. If you go in front of that vehicle, you have failed to yield. The thing is, there's another charge called stop sign, running a stop sign. It's 5016, which is currently active until February when Penal Code of 2020 comes into play, okay? So considering that there's another charge for specifically running a stop sign, Michelle is not guilty of failure to yield because there was no other vehicle, okay, in sight. She didn't fail to yield. She didn't fail to adhere to right of way. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Laws are very, very specific, okay? And people get off on technicalities all the time. I think it would be so interesting if we actually explore that in a roleplay setting. Would it not be?
Yeah, sure.
Then why are you trying to stop that? Then why are people so opposed to requiring physical evidence? I get it.
Because not everyone can do it. Like, I'm still gonna say that not everyone can do it. You can't expect everyone to, like, use
Okay.
thingy OBS or whatever. Because let's just
again, I'm not saying that you need to use OBS. You can use screenshots. You can press F8. There's a built-in function in SAM that allows you to take screenshots. Hell, I will. You know what? I know it lets you only take screenshots to 1,000 screenshots. But you know what I do when I run out of screenshots? I just copy all the screenshots. I put them in a different folder so I can take more screenshots. And you know what? I can even make a program that will automatically do it for you. If it's so bothersome for you to copy screenshots from one folder to another, if that means that we require physical evidence, because I would much rather prefer to be able to roleplay a legal character, to be able to roleplay a realistic justice, also a semi-realistic. We're not even like delving into like all the nooks and crannies and all the differences in it. I feel like all it comes down to is that when they don't require physical evidence, they can just arrest whoever they want. They can just do whatever they want. And regardless of whether they even know the law that they're supposed to enforce. And it kind of kills any point of trying to, play a character legally. That explains why a roleplay server turns into this cops and robbers kind of thing. Because cops are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. So pretty much, a cops is just another gang at this point. In my opinion. That's what it becomes when they're just allowed to do whatever the hell they want. So your argument is that we should not require physical evidence because people cannot be expected to always record physical evidence. That's where confessions come in. Do you think in real life, when somebody commits a crime, they always have physical evidence on them? They always have clear evidence that they committed that crime? Do you think in real life, everybody who goes to jail is actually guilty of the crime and the evidence didn't just make them look that way? There's so much potential there. And I'm not saying we should get rid of corruption. Corruption is interesting to roleplay with, and it's interesting to battle. I like the challenge, and I would love it if I would actually, if my character got like sabotaged with some false physical evidence that was properly roleplayed in character-wise, not out of character-wise. I hate it when it spills out of character-wise, but when it's in character-wise, I think there's so much potential there. And if we just disregard it, and if we just go, oh, any testimony he makes goes, that shouldn't be right, in my opinion. What's wrong? Here's what I want from you. Give me one situation, okay, in which requiring physical evidence would somehow be detrimental to roleplay of a police officer. Okay, give me one situation. Give me one example that you can come up with.
I think courts.
Right. Courts don't require physical evidence out of character-wise. They require in-character physical evidence.
Well, but they don't require, but it would really help, like, big time if you actually had it, yeah.
So you actually support physical evidence?
Well, no, I just said it would be really helpful if the person actually had it on him at that time.
But that's what I'm saying. They should be required. Okay? So what I'm asking you right now is to give me a single example in which requiring physical evidence from a person who is trained, who applied to be a cop, both in character-wise and out of character-wise, and, spent a long time training for that, where would that be detrimental? Like right now, we're requiring it from people who didn't apply to be a cop. We're requiring it from everybody but a cop. And we just trust everything a cop says on their word. And I think that is flawed in itself. But give me one example where requiring physical evidence would be bad.
Require physical evidence would be bad.
Just one example. You provide example with murder, but then you admitted that if somebody commits a murder, and even if I didn't record
yeah, because it was a stupid example that I made. That's why.
Okay. Well, give me a good example. Just one. I just need one to completely disprove my theory.
Of what?
Of the fact that we should require physical evidence to out of character physical evidence. Because right now we trust in out of character testimonies, which are extremely inaccurate, as in character physical evidence, and that's just flawed in itself, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't know right now. I can think up of something right now, but if I maybe had a time to think about it, I could probably come up with something.
Sure, I would love to hear it. Feel free to message me. My DMs are open on Roleplay Union, so feel free to message me when you come up with one. All right. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for bringing up this discussion and sharing your opinion and all that. I appreciate everything. Right.
All right.
What do you? Also, I'm curious. You probably have witnessed, what I do with Michelle Jefferson, what Michelle Jefferson does, all those assemblies and stuff like that. What's your out of character opinion about that? I'm just curious.
About the what?
Well, have you seen what Michelle Jefferson does in character-wise? Like, have you heard about
like protests and stuff about, not really protests, but like
assembly.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So what do you think about that out of character-wise? I'm just curious. You can say anything. I don't mind. Just be honest with me. That's all I want.
Like sometimes it's fucking stupid when when people who don't like for example, yeah, you know what you're talking about, right? But like other people don't know, and then they just join and do whatever the fuck about and shit, and cause ruckus.
You know what's very interesting? I found recently that when I do these assemblies, sometimes my internet just cuts off. Just like in these streams. When I stream, sometimes my stream just cuts off and I have to change IPs before I can log back on. That indicates to me that somebody is targeting me with a DDoS attack. So, this is an in-character experiment for me. Right? I'm not saying my character is always right. I'm not saying my character is always perfect. And that's not what characters are supposed to be. In fact, I think flaws make characters. They build characters. They make characters interesting, in my opinion. But when people take it out of character, when people get so upset that they invest into a DDoS just to try to take somebody down, well, first of all, it doesn't take me down. It only motivates me to go to do it more. But it's very interesting for me. Like, what do you think about people who... DDoS is actually a very relevant topic right now, because...
Like, people DDoSing and shit, right?
Yeah. They DDoS me, they DDoS LSRP, they DDoS other workers.
I don't really know about the LSRP DDoSing that much. I didn't really pay attention, but I saw... I witnessed you once being DDoSed, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a common reoccurrence, unfortunately.
Yeah, I witnessed it once.
I could just always change IPs. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention something. I think you see, in the recording that you had with you and the cop and all that stuff, like the ticket and all that stuff. I saw that you had a mod that the PS2 ambient mod or something.
No.
And I remember. Wait, don't you? Yeah, you do, and that changes the colors of the car. That's why it did look pink. That's why it probably looked pinkish for, but not for you. That's what I saw.
But you see, I have a contradiction to that statement, because he posted his own screenshots in which the car was gray. And I will show you those screenshots now, because people are gonna call me out on this.
Yeah, because I saw that's what I saw. I saw. Are you gonna?
I'm gonna show you the screen. I'm gonna pull them up on stream. Yeah, because he posted his own screenshots in the court case. And on his screen, you could very clearly see that the car was actually gray. I just need to find them, because there's so much evidence being posted, mostly by me, but a lot of testimony. His first testimony was hilarious. Let me just post it again. Do you see that? Did you see that first testimony?
Wait, hold on. I'm pulling up the stream right now.
It's put it in the interview room.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so like nondescript. It's clear that because it's a traffic ticket, it's not a big deal. The reason why I take it far is because I got adapted this mentality because I noticed when people are not held accountable, and this applies to me too. This applies to all people, in my opinion, as far as I've seen. When people are not held accountable for breaking rules, they don't care, right? Because, for example, I can make up a rule. You're not allowed to like Justin Bieber, for example. He released this new song called "Yummy," and I say you're not allowed to like you're not allowed to like his new song called "Yummy." So I can make that rule, but you can break that rule, and I can't do anything about it. So I can't enforce that rule. So do you care? No, you don't care, because that rule doesn't mean anything to you. You don't see the importance in that rule. You don't see the point in that rule, so you don't care. So when people, my theory is that when people are not held accountable, when people are not called out when they break rules, they will continue to break rules. I think that's kind of how the justice system in the United States works in the first place. Oh, I found it. Okay, so I can show it on stream. Yeah. So I'll show it on.
Send it in the interviews room as well.
Yeah, I'll send it as well. I'll send all the screenshots. But yeah, basically he did see the car and it was gray on his screen. So it's not that I don't think the only reason he would say that it was pinkish is either because he was trying to be malicious for whatever reason, which does not make any sense in this case, or he made a mistake. But either way, we get a false testimony and it's passed off as physical evidence. Now with a traffic ticket, it's not a huge deal. It's just cops get to issue false traffic tickets all the time, whatever. But what if it's murder? What if it's your example with murder, right? You right now a cop can arrest somebody, say that they murdered somebody else, without any physical evidence that they did. They could just say that they have a testimony. They can just make a testimony on their body camera saying, "Oh, he shot him." What?
But as you see, I'm gonna say what you said before.
Yeah.
There's other than physical evidence, there must be any other evidence, like for example, fingerprints, bullet casings, all that stuff.
Great. Yeah, but the point is that out of character wise, they can make stuff up. They can make stuff up out of character wise, and then just say, "Oh, this isn't."
Then it would be. Then if it's like not as severe as maybe getting a color wrong on accident, then. Like for example, you saying that their fingerprints will be found on the casings. Then it would possibly be either metagaming or power gaming, and you could report the player. But
yeah, that's the point. That's what you're supposed to do when they break a rule like that. When they power game or they metagame, you're supposed to take it out of character-wise. Go to admins, not the in-character justice system. And that's actually a thing that the cop in this case actually did ask to go to logs and prove through logs that he did everything. But the judge rightfully said, "I'm not an admin. I don't enforce the rules of the server. I expect you all to act within the rules of the server." And that's very much reasonable. If I had the actual footage of whether or not my character ran the stop sign, then we wouldn't have all this debate. But I didn't, because why am I expected to record 24/7? See, the thing is, let's go back to your murder example. I know you made it up, okay, but it's actually a really good example. Because imagine your character, right, as a civilian, is just standing there, and there's a dead body nearby, okay? And a cop pulls up, okay, and they proceed to arrest you for murder. and then you appeal it, and then they say the body camera shows that you stomped somebody out. You stomped them out, like broke their head or whatever or something, right? So that's why you're getting accused of murder. That's the out-of-character footage. But what in reality happened is somebody was stomping somebody nearby, and the cop might have bad memory or might have made a mistake. Maybe they are not even malicious against you. They could be malicious against you. You would have to prove that they are malicious against you, but they could even make a mistake. They could be very well intentioned and make a mistake and still get your character fully legal character convicted with murder on physical evidence. And my problem is not that innocent people go to jail. I accept that as a fact of life. Innocent people go to jail, innocent people get convicted. 2% of people who have been legally executed in the United States turn out to be innocent and have been exonerated of their crimes after they died. One person was exonerated of their crime before they were executed. Okay? That's a real story, by the way. But
he was still executed, yeah.
He was still executed after he was exonerated from the crime. But I accept that as a fact of life, and it doesn't make my character's story bad if my character gets arrested while they're innocent, okay, for a crime that they didn't commit. But what does make my story bad, what does make this terrible and very frustrating, is the fact that they pass off an officer's testimony as in-character footage, as undeniable in-character footage, because they hold a different weight. A testimony is gonna be, you're gonna take a testimony with a grain of salt, because it could be wrong. As we saw today, looking at the cop saw the car, it was gray, even on his screen, it was clearly gray. Did I send it to you yet? Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I kind of get where he said pinkish, like, why he said pinkish, because if you look at it from a different perspective, it kind of looks pink, let's be honest.
Okay,
kind of.
I'm looking at it and I don't see what you're saying. It looks great to me. If you look at the back, if you look at the reflection, I addressed this. If you look at the reflection, it's flashing blue and red, and gray and red kind of mix into pink. I'm actually impressed that SAMP even, like GTA San Andreas even has a lighting system that well implemented. Mm-hmm. But again, that goes to show, people make mistakes. It wouldn't show up as pinkish in an investigation. And if in an investigation, the color of the car determined if somebody was involved in the murder case, right? That would be a big problem. That would be a big detriment. That false information keeps getting put in. Because we treat testimonies as if they're physical evidence. That just kills the point of playing on a hardcore roleplay server, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's my idea anyway. But yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing up the conversation. I understand why a lot of people are like, oh, why are you taking this so serious? I'm sure you have that question as well. Why
I that's like the first couple of questions I had. It was if you really want to pursue like the role play of you doing all of these things in front of MPD, like for example the stands and all that stuff. Why do it on a character that has a huge criminal history? Like I was actually.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. My character.
If I said, you should seek this character, that would be very disrespectful of me. That's why I didn't like mention it at all.
A lot of people have said that. When I opened the thread, let me just go back to the thread for the anti-corruption group. A lot of people have said you should just character kill and start anew. I have actually done this before. I have actually character killed my characters because they had criminal history. And you know what? I play roleplay servers to develop characters. Okay? I play roleplay servers to develop characters, to develop consistent stories. And what? I'm supposed to kill my character because somebody falsely accused my character? Falsely arrested my character? So this is an anti-corruption group. This is the faction that I made. And if you go down, you see immediately people are just being disrespectful as hell. And I have to defend myself, and even the administration is like, so what RP are you looking to provide? The only time I've seen you is at the protest, which included 3 people outside the MPD. There's way more than 3 people, and I have to defend myself out of character-wise, in this in-character thread, even against administration. People don't see the point, and I have to try my best to show you, put you in my shoes, show you that I have went through this cycle 5 times already. I have went through the cycle of being falsely accused for a crime I didn't commit because physical evidence is not required in roleplay servers, and now I have to kill my character because of a criminal history. What's funny is that my character actually, I'm not gonna talk much about this, okay? But my character does not have. My character got charged with actually like. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about some specific stuff, but my character had murder charged. Was charged with murder after she defended herself with an illegal firearm because she couldn't legally carry a firearm. So, and that was the case until I was able to appeal that. I was able to appeal that eventually, and I just want to just say that I'm very impressed with the justice system and the people behind the justice system in Red County Roleplay, because they really appear to care to actually provide roleplay. They actually appear to want to give you a legitimate chance to roleplay. And still, you need in-character evidence proving your innocence. I had to put up all the in-character evidence proving my innocence, which I had for a very long time, and I've put up to the internal affairs. And this is interesting, because internal affairs initially removed the charges. If you look at Michelle Jefferson's record right now, it will show that internal affairs removed any kind of murder, manslaughter charges. But then they were added back in, and I was never notified. So the question is, how do you even roleplay as a legal character at this point? The only way you can really roleplay as a legal character is if you are a cop, or if you're part of like an admin organized, or like a formally organized like organization, like Silentium, or like the thing is, even Silentium and Elite Trucking, they are kind of a part of the government, because for example, you get a discount on a gun license if you are part of Elite Trucking. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, you get like a 15% discount if you're part of Elite Trucking. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't think that's actually a thing.
Okay, let me show that to you as well.
But I'm not in the division. But I'm not in the weapons licensing division.
Well, once you say I don't think that's a thing, I have to prove that it is a thing, because it's just how it works. We're in public. We have to discuss this stuff. Okay, so that is actually a thing. Okay, PD. I'll just have to find it. But yeah, there's so much shady stuff like this going on in Red County, and then people turn around and ask, hey, why are so many people like not caring about legal roleplay? Because it's practically impossible to roleplay legally when it wouldn't be such a big of an issue if it wasn't taken out of character. It's an out of character issue because they treat a testimony as if it's physical evidence. And testimonies, as we see, are inaccurate as hell. They are inaccurate, and they shouldn't be used to prove anything. So let me just find the okay, so if I go to the form, I know this is the case because I've looked through this before. It's in the permit. There we go. Form. Right, let me just, I'm gonna go on stream so that you can see where I'm going. Okay.
Alright.
By the way,
let me just open up the stream again.
I just want to brag a little bit. We actually made a small difference to with the protests. One time a captain came out. There used to be a part here that said you're not allowed to have any bad history with SASP. Like this, it just said bad history, and there was a separate entry for a criminal record, so that would imply, if you had a bad encounter, that could disqualify you, which is kind of against the United States Constitution. That would mean they can disqualify law-abiding citizens, fully qualified law-abiding citizens, because one time they said something bad about SASP. That doesn't make any sense, constitutionally speaking. So they changed that so you must have no gang affiliation. So that's cool. We made a change. We did something. But no, the thing that I want to show is was it in here? I'm pretty sure that there are. I know for a fact that this is a thing. I saw it. But okay.
What?
But okay. Well, meantime, this is. Let me just find it real quick. But first of all, so learning everything that you learned today, because I'm sure you've learned something, right? You've heard new information that you haven't heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still say that having would you say that we should require physical evidence from law enforcement in roleplay service to convict somebody? Because that's the thing. It's not that the person is trying to prove their innocence. It's what it's supposed to happen in character-wise is the police are supposed to prove the guilt of the person, and they can do it in a corrupt manner. That's a nature of a roleplay server. They can do it in a corrupt way. They can fabricate evidence if they want to.
Yes.
But should they be required physical evidence? That's the actual, like, out of character-wise physical evidence. Screenshots. Okay, screenshots. Maybe logs. Okay, but definitely
honestly,
screenshots.
look, I personally, I would still say, like, I personally would still say no to this because people, because like it would be annoying to screenshot almost everything. You know, I get that you can like make a new map and everything, but but people forget sometimes. But I bet that other people would probably say
Okay.
yes to that.
Okay.
I would get why they would say yes, but I personally say no.
Okay. One thing I just want to point out: I have been screenshotting everything, literally. Okay, let me just show you my screenshot folder.
Oh yeah, personally, I almost never screenshot.
Well, why not?
Well, because
screenshots don't take a lot of space like videos. Videos take up
yeah,
a bit
no,
of
but like
space.
it's never on my mind when I'm mid roleplay, you know.
Yeah, because you're not. That's what I'm saying. Because people are not required to provide physical evidence, they don't care. They don't care about it. Sure, it helps, but why should I do it if I don't care? And I don't mean to be insulting. It's the nature of a human to not care about things that are not necessary. We first of all care about things that are necessary. And if we don't consider physical evidence necessary, then I don't think we have a justice system of any kind, not even a fictional one. But yeah, let me just show you real quick. So I have, I'll just post it in the, in
evidence room thing.
Yeah, interview room. There you go. So 82.7 gigabytes of screenshots. And this goes back to 2018 September. So that's 1 year and 3 months, basically, 4 months, right? So let's do a little bit of a calculation, okay? Let's calculate how much space it takes me to save everything. And you don't need to save everything. You don't need to save everything. You can save up to a certain point. Like, for example, Red County Roleplay has a 2-week limit, I think. After 2 weeks, your case can be completely dismissed, even though they don't require physical evidence. I don't get it. I thought initially that they required physical evidence, and that's why there is a 2-week limit. Nobody expects you to save everything forever, even in real life. That's just impractical. But up to like 2 weeks, if 82 gigabytes was a year and let's calculate how much it was. So a year and 4 months basically. So 12 months plus 4, so that's 16 months. Okay, so I just wanna right. I just wanna make sure that we're filming. Okay, so 16 months, right? This is how many months I was saving screenshots for. All right, so let's so we take the number, okay, 82.7, so 82.7, right, and we divide it by 16 months, so that's 5 gigabytes per month, okay, to save everything. That is to save absolutely everything. And honestly, like, can you not spare 5 gigabytes? Can you not spare 5 gigabytes?
And I could, but I just never take screenshots, honestly.
Well, if you were required to take screenshots, I'm sure you would take screenshots, right?
No, not really, because I personally have the luxury of having shadow play on me.
Oh well, there you go. That's even better.
Yeah, but that's only me. That's a personal thing. Like other people can't like have shadow play or something.
Sure, that's not a requirement. The requirement is just physical evidence. The requirement isn't shadow play. Shadow play could be physical evidence, and that's great, but it's not a requirement necessarily. Also, you can always use OBS. OBS is a free software that can record in not necessarily high qualities. You can just record in 720p, 30 FPS. That does not take a lot of footage.
But I know a couple of people have like shitty but that's besides the point.
What's your point then? Why shouldn't we require physical evidence from?
Because not everyone can do it. I still stand to this point. Not everyone could. Not everyone has the luxury of having
of being able to take screenshots.
Yeah, no. Being able to take screenshots, like nobody, like if you're mid roleplay, you're like into the roleplay and everything. Nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, wait, I need to take a screenshot. Like you're mid roleplay, you're like fully concentrated.
Well, if you're saying even if you were. No, the thing is, imagine you didn't have shadow play and you were required to take physical evidence. You're telling me you wouldn't take screenshots when you were trying to prove somebody committed a crime? Because that's what a cop work is. It's proving somebody committed a crime. Okay?
Mhm.
It's not arresting definitive criminals. It's arresting people who you believe to be, who you believe you will be able to prove to be criminals. Because if you ride by, I don't know, a guy on the street, right? And he's wearing like a loose hoodie, and he's strolling like this, and he's swaying a little bit. He's not doing anything necessarily illegal, but you think he probably does something illegal in his own time. You're not gonna pull up and arrest him immediately, are you?
No.
Exactly. The police work comes from collecting evidence. That's like the whole point of police work. So when we don't have that, what do you even do? You just go around, and what's the point of the police work in this case? How do you find out who you arrest or not? Like, how do you investigate anything without any kind of physical evidence? Because I'm pretty sure, like, if civilians for a crime need physical evidence, right? They need to show screenshots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When they're all playing CCTV footage, when they're all playing dashcam footage, they need to show actual physical evidence.
I don't think you can roleplay CCTV. From my understanding, you can't roleplay CCTV footage. But to answer your question, yeah, I think so.
But what's the point of CCTV if you can't roleplay CCTV footage?
No. Only SCSP can't. Like, they can't. Like, for example, someone like does a crime in front of a CCTV. Like, it's not a safe zone, but it's like an SCSP plays CCTV. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone has to be operating it to, for it to like.
I'm not talking about SSP. I'm not talking about SASP operated CCTV. So I'm talking about civilian CCTVs.
Then you can then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but no. Again, if you come to a scene, right, and the civilian says, "Oh, I have all this footage proving that this guy stole something from me," and then they do a slash. Yeah, they need evidence in that case.
Mm-hmm, like a screenshot.
So
like,
why?
If something like that happens, I would definitely take a screenshot. Like, personally.
Why? Civilians required physical evidence, but cops are not required physical evidence. When the cops are the ones that actually went through the application process and are actually supposed to be upheld to this high standard, both in character wise and out of character wise. Why is it the civilians that are required physical evidence, but cops are not?
Bro, you want me to be honest? I don't know anything about courts.
Okay.
Like, because that thing doesn't interest me, so I don't know, but as far as I know, I think, like, if you want to appeal, like, a charge or something, you need evidence of...
Innocence.
Innocence. For example...
You need to prove innocence. Instead of proving guilt, we're proving innocence. That's how it works here. And that's why it's a problem, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, civilians are not required to make any... You don't even interact with the court, right? Have you ever interacted with the court at all?
Wait, you cut off. What were you saying?
Have you ever... Like, you are role-playing a cop on SASP, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been role-playing a cop on SASP?
Since September, probably.
Since September.
Yeah.
How many times have you interacted with anybody from the court?
Probably once.
Once? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What was it about?
It was an SBI integrity thingy.
Ah, interesting. So they actually, did something. They actually investigated a little bit. They actually contacted me about the hell. Oh, I probably should be saying that. That's kind of inciting metagaming there. Okay.
If it's a cop, they will get the prosecutor there.
Okay. Well, the point I'm trying to get at is civilians are required physical evidence, but cops are not. They make testimonies that don't even make sense. They are not accurate, and we still believe the next testimony they make. And to prove your innocence, you need physical evidence. That's my problem. Rules are supposed to be the same for everybody, but they're not. Like, do you agree that rules should be the same for everybody?
If that was the case, then we could slap the same rule about the CCTV thing. Like, SASP has a... I already said the SASP rule thingy. But yeah, if rules would be the same for everyone, then we could, like... Then the CCTV thing should be the same for us, or, like...
I agree.
Like, either...
I agree. I think rules should be the same for everybody. Just because somebody joins an organization that has badges and guns doesn't immediately make them superhuman, unable to make mistakes. And it's ridiculous to expect them to not be able to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think rules should be equal for everybody. We should be all treated equally based on the choices that we make. If we choose to pick up a gun and shoot somebody and we don't have any justification for that, that's what we should be judged on. Not by whether we are part of an organization or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why are we being treated differently? Why do you still stand that police shouldn't require physical evidence?
Honestly, like you already like all of these things. You're already fighting for it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to integrity and all that stuff because of the
well, it's in character. That's in character stuff.
Yeah. I know. But like you're already like setting an example for all that stuff, like personally, and like it's probably what other people should do, but I don't. But like going the extra mile to appeal a ticket is kind of
well, the ticket that you genuinely believe that you didn't break the law, but you're getting accused of breaking the law. It goes on your record. People judge you for it. Like you said earlier, why does this character with a bunch of charges trying to appeal all the trying to fight for justice? That doesn't make sense. And then it goes back to the question of unrealistic roleplay. An admin could come to me and go, why is this character with all those charges that they have been charged with definitively with physical evidence? Why are they fighting against corruption? That doesn't make any sense. Your character is unrealistic. Banned. That's what's gonna happen. When we don't take physical evidence, it escalates. It all builds up. It's all used against you. You judged me. You judged me, not my character. You judged me because I'm role-playing this character, who with a criminal history, an inaccurate criminal history, doing stuff. Like, sure, some of that stuff is accurate, but most of it is not. Murder charges were not accurate. Okay, and people make mistakes, and people are capable of rehabilitation. It's just. The point I'm trying to make is a lot of people a lot of people they judge people based on the first that they see them, the first thing they see about them. That's what remains in their head. They don't typically go investigating deeper in that. I understand that. The same goes with pretty much everything that happens to people. People see a thumbnail, people see a news article, they see the title, and that's it. They don't go further. They don't investigate. Why? Because we have shit to do. We have work to do. We have to live. We don't think that this is serious, but we still say our worst. We still say our